All right.
Hi. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning, y'all. This is a Auntie check-in. This week has been very challenging, very emotional. Um, I don't think a lot of Black women are feeling 100% safe, protected, valued, and loved. And that is the goal of Auntie's Noir. Um, I'm sorry for saying a lot. It's a filler word. I get it. But today, as you can see, like we're both in our little house stuff. I still have on my robe. I'm sorry, y'all. I have a new kitten. Get down, Armani. Go. I'm sorry. So we had a different topic ready, but we are going to change the agenda because again, a lot of different things have happened this week, right? So the first thing I want to do, and we're going to call this a check-in. I'm going to pull up a mental health check-in where you can put your hearts, and even Mama Love, Ma Love, you do it too.
Okay.
Okay, so the mental health checklist. If you feel really good, put a red heart. If you feel pretty good, an orange heart. If you're starting to struggle, a green heart. If you're having a hard time, a blue heart. And if you need support, a purple heart.
Okay, I didn't hear enraged in there. Cause is that the black one?
You said? Did you say?
Is enraged the black one?
I mean that's your place.
Oh, we can't pick a different heart. We gotta pick one of them.
I mean it's a fair place to take it. How are you feeling today?
Well, my demon is wrath, and it's difficult to not just go into that place. And the reasons I'll go from anger to wrath usually have to do with a deep hurt, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And that's just what I battle within myself every day is that wrath. And what I feel on the one hand is sorrow.
Okay.
And then what I feel on the other hand is enraged. So that's it.
What makes you feel enraged?
Well, there's a list of things, of course. But I won't give you the book version. The cliff notes are,
Well, there's several.
I I feel sorrow for black women and black girls, especially the younger ones of us. I feel sorrow for us. I feel like in ways my age group, well, actually, I think from like maybe 38 forward past my age group, I think as a collective, we've let black women down. And I feel that I need to get to work and do my part to repair that. So part of my sorrow is that I feel like I haven't done enough and there's so much more to do. Um, and then it goes into this middle place of the way I happen to see Black women and Black girls is, as we know, God is born.
Mm-hmm.
And to really, um, my attempts to hold us sacred, protected, and uplifted absolutely means other things to other people.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm looking at it from a much broader range, and at the same time in my personal world, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that that I have seen any number of Black women pick apart this girl's history, that what happened with her, you know, pick apart her
You said
history and
you
that kind
said
of thing. With the
you
young
said
lady
this
that
girl.
in this particular situation, but I've seen it done over and over again, where if something violent happens to Black women and Black girls, it's either it's we're not going to hear about it, or when we hear about it, some of us are going to blame, shame, and guilt the person who the woman or girl who was abused.
So
And if we
second.
have in our and we have in our ranks Black women who are mentally ill, Black women who are, brilliant, and creative, and Black women who are psychopaths, Black women who are sociopaths. And this idea that every single time or most times a Black woman has to be checked, verified, rechecked, go back into, okay, let's see her birth record, all of this before what she's saying can be accepted. That's just a general thing. Whether that person is lying or not, the go-to is what pisses me off. Okay?
Okay. So hold
that
on.
that if
What
it's
Miss
no, you
Love?
ask me for my feelings. Do you want my feelings, girl? Or
I
that's
do,
because
but you're saying this girl, and someone may not have context. So I need you to give context about who you're talking about.
this
We just
young lady
saying.
who the recently a young lady in Houston was out of the club, and we're not going to be posting anybody's whatever people are saying about it. You can go on YouTube and you will find it. You can go on TikTok and you will find it. The young lady's name, I'm not spilling anything that's not already out there. She said this herself. Her name is Ro. Whatever happened, there were Black men standing around. Apparently, one approached her and asked for her number. She said no. In between that spot, this Black man picks up a brick and he hits her across the face with it. So that's what I'm referring to this week. But it's a common theme for us as Black women to have to be responsible for the emotions and behaviors of the people who are violent and savage and brutal and cruel and unusual to us. And that's the part that pisses me off. And then we get to the other side of that. It's like the motherfuckers don't need to be accountable and responsible. Oh yeah, no, they do. Yeah, but you ain't doing all that checking. How come if you could do all this checking, why you ain't found him? Why you ain't found whoever? Why is it that me as a Black woman, I gotta prove that I'm a fine, upstanding citizen with this and that, got a passport, blah, blah, blah. How long have I been working there and all of this shit? When a white woman every fucking day, all day, calls cops because they didn't like what, for instance, another Black woman said to them. So that's another thing. When we don't, when other people do not like something that we say, because we are very powerful with our voice and we don't understand that, but they know it. So when we say something out of our mouth, I get to not like your fucking ass. I get to tell you no. I get to tell you fuck off. I get to tell you to kiss my mother. No, not my ass, but my dog's ass because they got rabies shots. I get to do all of that shit. And you don't get to put your hands, brick, nothing on me. I do not have to answer to a black man saying hello to me. Bitch, I'm grown. Don't approach me. And it is not my problem that you approached me, but it will be yours. So that's how I feel. Now I'm going to sit over here and catch my breath. Shit done pissed me the fuck off. Okay.
Why? I'm trying to, I guess where I am in all of this is, again, no one has pushed me more towards Black history than you. And I'll tell you when I changed my expectations. When we watched The Woman King, I found that movie deeply disturbing. I know other people felt like it was uplifting, and I'm just like, that means Black women have been fighting since the very beginning. There's never been a time when we have been able to, quote unquote, rest in our femininity at a critical mass level. There are some women that are, domestic engineers or whatever. My frustration is I get why people are upset. I do not understand why the push of giving realistic solutions is kind of shoo-shooed. Like, well, she should, I mean, yeah, you shouldn't have to deal with racism, but you do. She shouldn't have been hit with the brick. She shouldn't have. My question is, I don't doubt she was hit. I'm saying the situation and how this information is coming out is very odd. Um, I did not go digging for any of her stuff. It was made available. And I also do not understand, where's the police report? Where are the club folks? Where are the people that this is their property? Where are the cameras at? Like, there's got to be something to show this young man's face or old man, whoever it is. Like, can we find the person that committed the crime? Can we focus on who we need to focus on? Um, is she a palatable victim? No, she's not. Has she said some things on social media that some people just are not going to agree with? Yes. Does she deserve to get hit with a brick? No. So it leaves us in a conundrum, because for some people, if you do not automatically just agree with the victim, people are looking like, well, what's wrong with you? And it's like, no, there's nothing wrong. I just know that for me, this sounds a little bit odd, and I'd like more information. I'm not calling her a liar. I'm not saying she deserved to get hit. I'm saying, as a fully grown woman, I get the right. I get the right to say, what is the whole story? What happened altogether? Not what happened to make you get hit, but just what happened. Because if we know the circumstance of what happened, then I can teach my 14-year-old niece, like, hey, I'm not saying this is going to happen for sure, but we've seen women in this situation. This is what's happened. This is how we respond. Like, I'm about the action. She's been hit. The hit has happened. Now what? What is next? But I beg of Black women to see the reality that many of the people that get protection from a man, there is a direct connect. That's the girlfriend, it's the mom, it's the wife, it's a cousin, it's an auntie, but they feel tethered to that person. So the response is different. Well, we're not related to every black man that we go out and deal with in the world, right? So, what are some common things that are happening with people, specifically black women, that we can come up with action plans? My whole thing was like, why was she out there by herself? If you going out at night, you need to drop your location to a friend, to your mom, to a parent, so everybody knows where you are. If you are going out late at night and um, there's a gaggle of knickknacks and you don't feel comfortable, if you're at a club, there should be some type of security. Again, if there's no security at that club, they put everybody's life in danger. So that would need to be rectified, right? So I am about all of these different things that, um, as to use Reaganomics, that trickle down. It's not. It has not been handled well. I don't think by anybody. I do not think that she, as a victim, has to present a particular way. I do not. How she shows up, how she shows up. Her face was indeed hit. But I also can say from the last situation with Carly, which is why I think black women get so upset, is because we're very rarely believed. We're very rarely believed. And if that's the case, we don't need nobody coming in causing issues. I did watch the video that Tanya TKO put out, and I did watch the video that Yanni put out. I think Yanni's was a little bit more balanced in the sense that she's just saying, like, hey, there's no police reports. Um, there's nothing that happened. Now, mind you, this young lady is what? She's not Meg the Stallion. So, are the state or will the state pick this up? I'm believing because of all the coverage on, YouTube, it will probably be picked up. It's already been picked up on one of the local news channels. So we need to, one, identify the guy. Two, mama needs to go ahead and fill a police report, a battery. And that's the thing. Even if you don't feel necessarily comfortable on scene, you can go to the police office. You can call and say, hey, this happened to me. I was assaulted and I want a remedy. And the remedy is not going to come from going live. That's not going to solve it. It just is not. I know that going live and doing certain things is a way to get information and to get eyes onto the subject, right? But now that we have eyes on, what do you, the victim, want us to do? Do you want us to call the police? Do you want to give a description and people try to find out who this man is? Do you just want to walk away from this and not have it come back up? What do you need? What do you need right now in this moment to feel sacred, supported, and protected? I do not believe that that's not, you're going too far to ask for that. Is that not fair?
Okay, so I do understand your sentiments, and I I would I would hazard a guess. I have no data on such. I would hazard a guess that there are many black women who feel the way you do. You know, um, and just trying to understand these things based on um, how we've been taught to look at things and look at a situation, right? And different ones of us, true, we come from different perspectives, but in the most general sense is what I'm talking right now. I think there are a lot of black women um, younger than us, a little bit younger, and also older than us, who feel this way. I've seen them talking about it. I've seen them, you know, actually heard some of the same sentiments that you've brought up about how you feel and how this could have gone differently. And,
No,
asking,
I don't think it could have gone differently for her. Like, it's like a criminal. If he's a criminal, he's a criminal. But my thing is this, like, even in the sense that I can be very honest in my own guilt. As an SA survivor, I did not report it. I did not believe I would be believed. I didn't want to go through it. I've seen what has happened, and I wouldn't. I've already been violated one way. However, I will say a moment will pop up, and I'm like, I wonder if he's done this to anybody else, or I hope he hasn't. But the way that it was done was very cavalier, and it didn't give like this was the first time, right? Um, why are we okay with snitches get stitches? Like, I'm sorry, if you see somebody get hit with a brick, man or woman, and you know who this person is, or at the very least you can give a description, why the hell didn't y'all call the police? We've got to get over this. I know Black people, specifically Black women, have been trained not to call the authorities on their brothers. I'm sorry, if your brother isn't acting brotherly, he's acting like a nignog or a degenerate or a terrorist. Why are we holding space for that? Why are we holding space for that? And then my other thing was just like, why are you standing here screaming in the camera with the same dudes that watched you get hit? Like, you're not safe, baby girl. Get away from these people immediately. This is not the time to buck up. It's not the time. You just got hit with the brick. I'm gonna need for you to exit. I need for you to get in your car. I need for you to call the authorities. I need for you to get you out of this situation for right now. Is it right what happened to her? No, it's downright fucking disgusting. It's gross. But I'm gonna need for you to be okay first. I need for you to think about some things. And I know you and I and Miss D and Michaela and Yaz, we've all gone kind of back and forth. I will say, out of the four of us, I am the lone shark, and I'm okay with that. I am okay with saying I wasn't there. I don't know these people. I do see her face is swollen, but this is not, my questions would be the same questions for my sister. I'm not being inappropriate by trying to figure out what happened. Because again, we're saying we want solutions. So if something has happened to the point to where a man has picked up a brick and you didn't feel safe, what did you notice before? Like, did the guys seem calm? Did they seem kind of agitated? And I get it. I see your face. It's going to be the, why do I have to do that? Should you have to? Absolutely not. But are we going to live in the should world or the real world? Because she should have never got hit. She should have been protected. She should have had those grown ass men jump whoever hit her. She should have been held sacred, protected, loved, valued. None of that happened. And this is not new. Week after week after week after week after week, we see things happening to Black women, and we see Black men standing on the sidelines. Why are you looking to these people to help you? Have they ever helped, Miss Love? Ever? Didn't you give me the more
that's not,
information?
okay. This, we are totally on the opposite side of this. Okay. Not, we can't even get there where you were just saying about the history. I I'm not even gonna get there because I need to come back to some things here.
Okay.
Okay. I'm a registered nurse. Only reason that makes a difference in this situation is because I have seen people who have been in trauma,
Mm-hmm.
physical trauma. Okay. Um, SA'd as children. Okay. So I can guarantee you, I'm not expecting someone who has had physical trauma to do anything specific. She got hit in the head. So when when that young man, I think it was Takeoff, when he got shot, nobody expected him to try to figure out this, that, and the other, and get himself out of there or any of that. You see what I'm saying?
Are
You get hit.
Wait, no,
Hold
no.
on. No, you get hit. You get in a car accident. You do all of these things, and none of this shit is coming to your mind. It would be to me, it'd be weird if you could think through all of this shit. Now I'm capable because I'm built different. And I've been in a lot of situations where I've seen trauma patients and these types of things. But they're going from one emotion to another. I don't know if this girl was dizzy. I don't know. She's got a lot of adrenaline going, maybe. I don't know what's happening to her. I don't know how being hit in the face with a brick is affecting her. Why hasn't she called the police? Well, if we know anything, if we're so great at being investigators, then we would know when she goes to the hospital, they have to report what happened. That's what happened with Meg. Meg didn't say shit to the police. A report was filed from the hospital. You must report. If I think that, or listening to someone's history, that they have been physically essayed or anything else that has to do with another person doing something to them, I have to report that to the authority as an RN. So she went to the hospital. Why isn't there a police report? Well, to be honest, have you ever filed a police report? It can take days for that to come out. It can take days for someone to have a report number. Okay? So this girl just got brutalized. But why didn't she call the police? Why didn't she do this? How come she didn't do that? It just doesn't make sense. I'm not saying she's a liar, but it really seems suspect to me. Why didn't she get in her car and drive off? Why didn't this? Why didn't that? Oh, really? But that's all about her. That's all about why didn't she do these things? Why didn't that motherfucker control his badass behavior? Why does any of these motherfuckers think that they get to walk up on me, a grown-ass woman, and ask me any motherfucking thing? Motherfucker, bend the knee. The only thing you can do for me is tie. Fuck you. And I'm not going to sit here and be on the side of, oh, but don't we need to investigate her? No, I don't need to do all of that. To be honest, I don't give a fuck if you lie. Lie. We get to lie. Black women don't get to lie. We don't get to be fully human. We have to be perfect, because when a black woman could have lied, then that means every single black woman now can't tell their story. That is some bullshit. Okay? That is bullshit. I don't care about any of this shit. All I'm glad of is that baby got to the hospital. But it could have been, she could have gotten a car accident if she was driving herself to the hospital with a motherfucking head injury. So why are we not using all of this energy to let motherfuckers know You roll up on my ass, and you're going to get what you really came for. That's what's going to happen here. I don't trust you. You are unsafe. I don't give a fuck what kind of good man you think you are. If you ain't stopping other motherfuckers from harming Black women and Black children, fuck you. Fuck you. Fuck the motherfuckers that's doing it. Fuck all of you. You coming for blood. You have made sure to let me know every 4.5 hours when you kill another Black woman that you hate my ass and I'm your enemy. Well, guess what? I'm personally, I'm with that shit. Come get with me. How about we do that? And then I had to sit here listening to Black women say, well, she should have just gave him a phone number, and then blah, 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 or she should have gave him a Google number, whatever. Listen, let me give you my phone number. I know I did a video on this before, but let me give you my phone number. 9MM 380 2222 2222 380 buck shots. If you approaching me, nigga, you are coming for blood. That's what you're doing. Don't tell me about a good person or what this little girl should have done or whatever. That's the same shit I've heard all my motherfucking life. Well, what did they do to provoke it? They should have really thought about it. You got to keep calm because your husband, he'll get angry and then he'll beat your ass and you'll deserve it too. All of my fucking life. So, as far as I'm concerned, I'm checked in. Now, what I will say is I'm so glad to see much bigger numbers of Black women telling other Black women, listen, don't play around. Go get your concealed carry. Girl, don't play around. Yep, self-defense is the thing. Girl, don't play around because we live in a society where these treacherous, disloyal, dysfunctional, motherfucking violent ass, brutal ass motherfuckers are. I can't always avoid a motherfucker. Sometimes I'm just minding my goddamn business. And as a grown woman, you don't question me. I ain't questioning you. You don't question me. And you don't tell me that in a given situation, I should have done this or why didn't I do that? I don't care. That's why the fuck I didn't do any of that shit. This is why I'm telling Black women with your sons. I got a son, lovely young man. Okay, but I'm telling y'all with your sons, you better check their asses because I'm on what Michaela said. They got my picture on Most Wanted in Blackistan. And if you fuck with my daughter, I don't give a fuck what she said to you. I don't care what she did. I don't care where she was. I don't care what she was wearing. I don't care what she drank. I'm fucking y'all son up, whoever that is. So you let them know. If you see this woman and you need to ask questions, do you know her? Is that your mama? Because if that's your mama, I ain't fucking with you. So there it is.
I'm listening and processing. I hear what you're saying. I surely do. But yes, I definitely am team have a fake number. I am.
And that might work for some women. Honestly, I'll say that might work. That's a solution.
I'm sorry. I, in a perfect world, you should be able to reject a man and not suffer anything. That is not the reality. That's not the reality. And, you know, you and I are both blessed to be in states where you can have a concealed carry. A lot of people, like New Yorkers and New York women, they don't have that option. I didn't even know they can't even legally have mace. So I can't subscribe the same kind of prescription or remedy to a woman in New York that I could in Texas and Florida. There are some things that we can do preventatively. I will be very honest. I'm 44. I don't have men approaching me. It's been a long time. Like, you know how it is. Like somebody will look and say, "Oh, you look nice," but I've reached the wall age where, um, if something were to happen, it probably would be from someone that I know, not a stranger. Um, I think for me, my only concern is just like, why do we not have a description of this young man or old man, whoever he is? Um, and it's not just for her to do that. Like the club owner came out, nigga, you ain't got no cameras. Like, pull the film, pull the cameras. Why is the only person talking about this her? That's weird. That's very odd. And I'm not trying to fault her. I am saying, what is going on with the culture that somebody could get hit with a brick? Half of the people gonna say, well, what did she do to deserve it? The other half are like, I don't care what she did. She shouldn't have got hit with the brick. And both sides are judging each other. I don't think it's helpful. I definitely don't think it's going to protect Black women and Black girls. Um, I think because we deal with a multitude of personality, we need a multitude of solution. What you're saying is a very real solution. Very real. We saw what happened with the baby that she had. What is, isn't she in Chicago? The lady that her son shot. Oh, dude, she prepared herself. We had that conversation of she was prepared. And it's unfortunate, but also her teenager was prepared because she is dealing with the reality that she lives in Chicago. I cannot deal with women who do not want to um, live in reality. I don't know who you are, culture. I'm going to try to be as respectful as possible, but this is not what's going on. That, like, what you're doing right now, I'm going to tell you, don't. We are really trying to have an adult conversation and honor the differences, and nobody is saying, what was she wearing? That's not what happened. What is going on is people are saying, what was the situation? Why
Hold
did
on. Wait.
I
What?
don't know. I don't know her past, and it doesn't matter. We're not even talking
Oh,
about
you're
her
reading. Oh,
past.
you're reading. Thing. But
Yes.
let's not do that. Okay. Let's not do that because let's bring this back over between us right now. High culture connoisseur. Because I think what she's saying is something different than what you're thinking she's saying. Okay. I think she's saying that these are the types of questions we will ask about how a woman presented herself when she got violated and brutalized. And that is a cultural thing. That's not just, I mean, that's a generalized thing with women in general. So I don't, I mean, that's what it sounds like to me. And I agree with that. These are some of the questions that will be asked of us if we were to be essayed as a child. And then we're told we're fast and all of these things, but we never look at, we don't, we protect the motherfucker who did the shit. And that's why I have a problem. I don't need to judge other Black women about their thing. I don't agree with it. You do what you want to do because you're a goddess born, far as I'm concerned, or you're choosing to be once born, and you still work within a patriarchal mindset, and that's okay, right? I don't, that's cool. What I displayed here so far today is how I'm gonna get down. Now, you could use that as an example if you wish. I would suggest you get your daughters in martial arts. I would suggest you start getting your concealed carry. And by the way, there are rules in a patriarchy that I fucking don't adhere to. I don't give a fuck if white people say it's the law. You are not doing that shit to me or my daughter. Okay? So I don't say everyone should be an outlaw. That's me. That's how I'm built. That's an extreme version of a thing. I think both you and I, Tiffany, are saying we can meet somewhere where we can give solutions to people who are not built like me, some people who might be a little bit like that, some people who are more like, okay, let me get myself together and be cognizant of my surroundings. Which, by the way, if you go and get concealed carry classes, they teach you that it's really about being aware of your surroundings, right? And how people are moving around you and how you're moving around them. It really does make you just start thinking about, oh, like something you said to me, Tiff, was like, I used to sit I never sat with my back to the door, you know, and these are good things to learn, you know. You don't sit at your back to the door. Just like we're trying to teach young girls, don't drink something at some party, girl. You don't know who put in what. You know, these are things that I feel sorrow that we're late to the game. Coming up with more standards and policies on operations, and how we can, some of these different things that we can do to make sure that we're safe. I'm finally glad that we are no longer in the conversation where we are, we, well, most of us are not. And that this is including you and I. Most of us are not telling Black women anymore the shit we were told. You're it's your fault. So what did you do? So this and that. Oh, we're gonna take you to the tribunal of a bunch of dumb ass motherfuckers that like to put on a suit on Sunday and got all these different kids by different mothers in the church that he making Sunday night through Saturday night. But we protect him. See, we're not doing that anymore. That's one thing we're not doing. We're not trying to sit here and help the world to believe that Black men are not being violent. I don't know what they're doing with white people, but I ain't seen it. But they're definitely a threat and a critical violent issue for us that we need to solve.
Yeah,
so
even in that, like, I think for me, I don't just look at this as a one-off. For me, what this brings up is clearly like childhood trauma for sure. I share with Miss Love. I will share with y'all. Allegedly, I have hit every man that I've dated because the way that I saw men present was either you're going to be the hitter or you will be the receiver. And that just for me is a no-go. The other thing is this: I do not in any way, shape, or form believe if I am in a precarious situation that a Black man is going to step up and help me. I don't participate in the world like that. Um I don't know what has happened with Black men. What I can say is if I'm reading Ida B. Wells and in 1892, people stormed into a jail and killed people. Okay, it's 2023. So last time we were together, you talked about Emmett Till and how they opened the door and
Who is
let
they? Who's they?
the uncle.
The black man. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not trying like I'm not harboring terrorists. The
No,
I
no. I'm saying the general audience might not know. Might not know. You know
mm-hmm.
that
No, so
black
I
men
mean even
participated in getting that baby killed.
mm-hmm. And that's what I'm saying, Miss Love. It's just like we gotta stop. We need to learn our history. We need to understand that this is not new. And if it's not new, then what we've been doing is not working. We've got to change something. You know what I mean? Like I don't want people to be hit or treated ugly or taken advantage of or made a scapegoat. What I will say is like people are like, well, why are we going through her history? Don't pull that argument because how many black men have we went back and started pulling shit on like the dude in Houston that lost his position with the DA? I don't know why or what the new generation is that they go back and dig to make people not be a palatable victim. But that happens with man, woman, child, everything. Like we saw with the Amber Heard trial. They went far, far back. Like this chick has been hitting people for years. She did it at a freaking airplane place. She was in that, like, she got arrested. She got arrested because people that are abusers. Like, come on. Stop looking for these people to protect you. It's not going to happen. It's not. Stop with this fuckery. You are your own defense system. You are your own biggest advocate. You. So, what do you do to keep you safe? Nobody is saying anything about this young lady. What I'm saying is, girl, I saw you walk out in the dark in a club with no friends, no male support, arguing with niggas. Guess what that is? Fucking dangerous. Stop playing with these people. They're not playing with us. Are we not the ones that are getting unalived every 4 hours? What the hell would you be looking at somebody that's killing you to for defense? That's retarded. It's stupid. It's ignorant. It's unsmart. And it ain't happened. Again, didn't you teach me since the Moors? Ida B. Wells, 1892. It's 2023. You have to take care of yourself. You have to protect yourself. You need, every time we come on here, Miss Love is saying self defense, self defense. Go to karate. If you can get a gun, get a gun. Do what you need to do to protect yourself. This is something we've said since we started this. I feel horrible that this young woman got hit in the fucking face. But how do we maneuver so it doesn't happen to anybody else? And we know in a nignog society, it's gonna be niggas repeating this stupid ass shit. It's gonna be dudes now with bricks hitting people. I wholeheartedly believe that because they stand together in degeneracy. We can't even stand together in victimhood. Nobody's asking for a palatable victim. But yes, I do reserve the right to ask some questions. I am not going to blindly agree with anybody, with anything. I'm curious. Why am I curious? Because Miss Love has said what? Look at the behavior. I'm looking at the behavior. You're not gonna make me believe if you got hit by a brick, you're gonna turn your camera on and start talking. Get the fuck away from these people. You're not safe. Why are you asking why y'all didn't do anything? They didn't do anything. That's enough. Who is the nigga that hit you? You got all these other people on camera. Describe this nigga. Call the police. Call the po-pos. Call them. Call the club and demand to have some film. Because as you stated, do she want to just do this GoFundMe? Or do we want to say you were put as a Black woman in an unsafe space till you are on somebody's property and propriety, and they misaligned and did not ensure that you got off of their property without being harmed?
Let me ask you a question.
Yes, ma'am.
This young lady in particular, because we're using her as an example.
Mm-hmm.
These things, like we're saying, happen every day.
Mm-hmm.
This young lady in particular, she gets hit in the face with her brick. And in the last few days since that,
Mm-hmm.
I've heard these same questions that you're asking, but I've also heard the whole, why didn't she file a police report? Why didn't she do that? And as you said, you feel you have a right to ask these questions. I think what's happening with me personally is that I'm more concerned about other people were concerned about, and I heard Yanni say this briefly because I don't really watch her that much, and I don't really do TKO.
I know. I know.
Because I don't, not because they're not decent people and decent Black women and that they don't have some valid, things to say. It's not that.
Mm-hmm.
It's just we're different people.
Yeah.
I don't ascribe to patriarchal meanings of things. I only use patriarchal terms because that's how everybody else speaks. I know how to speak the patriarchal language, but I don't ascribe to it. So this girl, I'm going through this as a nurse. This girl gets hit in the face. And then within 3 days, the questions are from other people. Why isn't there a police report? Ooh, I heard she won't even talk to the police. Ooh, I heard this. Is it possible? I'm just asking. I don't know what happened, but is it possible that, number one, she's in a lot of pain? Number two, she had a concussion, apparently, that went along with this. I would guess they did scans, but we don't know if there's a slow bleed going on or any of those things. We don't know if this young lady ended up back in the hospital. And that would be why she's not, whatever. But even if she was home, or maybe she went to someone else's home to help take care of her, right? Because she might need surgery, depending on, how her jaw is broken. Okay. So the expectation again on her is to have done 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 without stopping. I didn't hear one person that feels the way you do stop and go, she could be back in the hospital. What if they had to do surgery? What if this? What if that? On the side of that, maybe she's in pain. Maybe she had to go back to the hospital. Maybe she had a slow bleed going on that initially you can't see. That's why it's called a slow bleed. Maybe her mental self was really shaken, and she was just out there reacting. Some people cry, some people sit on the ground, some people ball up in a ball when they've been attacked. Okay? And I'm going to say this about Black women in general. This is actually a point of data. Only 1 in 15 Black women report DA. 1 in 15. So it's more like only one Black woman in 30 is going to tell the cops, whoever, that she's being beat. But the data says it's at least only one Black woman will tell, call the police and all of those things, out of 15 altogether. So again, we're hearing me say, I don't care about why there's no police record, or why there's no this, or why there's no that. I don't care why she didn't lay down and play dead or whatever. I don't care that she got in her car and drove away or didn't get in her car and drove away. I want to know that she is being healed. Then we can talk about all that shit if that's what people want to, take the energy to do. But within a few days of this baby being hit in the face with a brick and this close to her temple, so y'all want to be on, so she should be on camera, she should be giving you police reports, she should be she can barely talk.
I don't think that's what people are asking for.
But that is what people are asking for. Yes, it is. I heard Yanni say that shit. Yes, it is. I heard TKO repeat what Yanni said. Yanni said it. That is not true. There are Black women out here doing exactly that with platforms, nice sized platforms. You go back and look at it. Okay? I'm just telling you, if that's what, so there's Black women out here going down the list of shit. This girl should have, didn't do, blah, blah, and why this and why that. Why do we have niggas in our community? That's my question. Why don't they all just go? Why don't they just all fucking go? Since you hate Black women so much, and you can't stand it when we open our mouth, you can't stand it when we tell you no to something, or you can't stand what we wearing or not wearing or some other bullshit, nigga, take your ass over there to Siberia, where I feel like white women should go with you. Go. Nobody's interested in all of this shit just to walk down the street. And if it isn't you, it's some motherfucker, you in your fucking never have stood up for Black women, protected us, whatever, as a collective cause. So other motherfuckers think it's okay to treat us like shit and whatever. And what are we left with? What could we have done better? What could we have done better? Now, yes, I do believe in preparation, for sure. Again, I think it's a lot to do with being a nurse and having been a single mom. I believe in prepping. So yes, I keep saying these same things. Here are some things we can do. You just added something else I totally disagree with, but this may work for other Black women, which is just go ahead and give. If a Black man's asking for your phone number, just go ahead and give it so that you can regulate his fucking emotions and keep him calm and, stroke his ego. And, next, if he asks you to bend the knee and suck his dick, hey, why not? If that's going to save your life. That's bullshit. I'm not treating with you. And you are not going to walk up on me. You ain't getting shit. What phone number, motherfucker? I pay for this shit. I walked out in a crowd of who? I don't give a fuck if I walk out naked. Don't approach me, motherfucker. That's my answer. But what I'm not going to do is spend days after this child has been hit for however it happened, whatever the situation. What I want to know is she being healed? Is there somebody taking care of her? Is she okay? Is this baby okay? Because that was serious damage. That's what I want to know. And I know that it gets worse after you've been hit. They may have missed a fracture in her skull. I don't know. They may not see something till they do surgery or something. I don't know. But those are the things I would want to make sure before I try to do my little investigative reports when I'm not an investigator, and question what she should or shouldn't have done. I'm not going to do that. Hello, Paige Turner. How are you? Hi, Georgia. Welcome, everybody. We're okay. Y'all know I done got heated all over again. Miss Tiff is like, "Ooh, we trying to get somewhere here, girl. We trying to get somewhere."
No, we both have little babies. Like, you have a baby puppy, and I have my little kitten, and this little boy, I refuse to allow Black culture to make my son a scallywag. Because this nigga over here is acting like he ain't got good sense. Like, you making them beds, you knocking things over.
No.
You see that part. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, we both have boy animals, and they are literally saying, what? Censure me. I see you're on camera, Mom, but censure me. I know what you're doing, but censure me. I cannot, for myself, and I get what you're saying, and I think again. So yesterday we had a conversation, and I talked to someone that's male and same gender loving. And when we talked, he was so confused that I was like, "Y'all don't leave my house and expect men to protect me. I've not. That's just not what we were taught. When the enemy is in the house, then you definitely don't trust outside. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I can also say that, like, maybe culturally she's used to men standing in the gap and stepping up. And she is in a very southern state where that's just not right, wrong, indifferent. It's the way domestic or intimate partner violence happens here is not the best. It's just not. And I wish that she would have reported, but I understand why she wouldn't have. Because again, when we start talking about, let's use Meg the Stallion as an example, no, she did not press charges. The state did. And when it happened, she came out, she gave an interview. Some people feel like she lied. And, see, this is why you can't trust these Black bitches. Who's getting on national television talking about their sexual history? That's not okay. No, let me finish. That's not okay. And the level of why it's not okay is this. And this is where I think I, and other women can link in together. You're not going to ask me to police her behavior when the president previously has 25 sexual allegations. Bill Clinton had, I think, 50 something. These are white men. So what we're not gonna do is act as if, oh no, a black man would never be. No, I don't care how people feel. I'm going to say what I feel. And I'm telling you, and I've said this since I've met you, some black men are doing their best job as cosplaying white men. And they want the same permission and leverage to be abusive to black women as white men can. I'm sitting up, like I said, watching different things, learning different things. And if you show me a picture of hello the Moors that are supposed to be super smart, they have all this artwork. Even Beethoven had a Moorish mother. Those women were not protected. Girl, we got sold. How did we get here? We didn't get here because we was like, you know what I really want to do? I want to get on a ship and be less than 2 inches away. And I don't want to be able to go pee, feed myself anything. I just want to, ride across the transatlantic, this, and this. And just, potentially get on a plantation. No, I don't need to know anybody. Why would I need to know anybody? Oh, I'm going to separate my language and I'm going to separate any culture that I have because I'm only 3/5 a person. That kind of trauma, that kind of PTSD is fucking weird. And I would say my highest and the most frustrating part is the code of silence that these men have decided to have. And then sometimes they're not even silent, excuse me. Meg the Stallion, I'm telling you, everybody has like a breaking point. I think for some people, this here is your breaking point. For me, it happened when that girl got shot and we saw her in a G-string walking backwards, bleeding out of her heel. And motherfuckers was like, she didn't get hit. She didn't get shot. Huh? So whether it's some camera footage or not, that's not going to make people believe. I want the camera footage to identify this nigga. Identify him. I want the state to pick up the case.
But one of the things I'm telling you, and I this may seem like a small point, but the same thing happened with Meg. When you go in the hospital, they have to file a police report if you've been physically or essayed abused. They have to. Okay. It isn't social work comes in, it's a whole thing. They have to do that. So this young lady didn't need to do that. It was done as a part of her being in ER. Does that make sense?
I
So,
hear you. So my only
so my
question, wait a minute, because you asked me, does it make sense? Yes, but, and here's my but. I'm going to say yes. And why is it now that when people are calling on particular hospitals and stuff, because they don't have to tell you, people's room name or anything, but typically hospitals here, if somebody's checked in, like you can call and verify, like, this is where this person is, because if something tragic happens, you need to be able to get to where, what facility they're in. Again, I feel as if there are two conversations happening. I think you're having a conversation in the sense of, this girl was hit, this is atrocious, this is bullshit. No. And my mindset is not shocked. Why are we continuing to want certain people to abdicate when they've never done it? So even with you and my stance, essentially we have to say, what do we do to keep ourselves safe? Because the men people are not doing that.
well,
You
I,
heard the
I'm
people in the background, right? That were like, what did you want us to
yeah,
do? What do you want me to do?
I heard them. Um,
She said,
But my point, this little sticky point that I'm making is actually a big one. In the midst of a crisis for a young Black woman, these are the things we're doing. We're not reaching out to comfort her. We're not doing all those things. We're reaching out for proof
we
that
don't,
what
you,
she
you
did
can't
is
say
okay.
that for certain. That's unfair.
Okay. I'm going off of a couple of the people that you um, brought up here. Okay. And that is exactly what they did. They wanted to
You
know,
talking
well, you know
about
what
young
I found
women?
out? And it was one more person. Why isn't there a police report? Why is this? Why is that? I'm telling you, in the hospital, this is all I'm trying to say. And this is a seems like a little point, but it's a big one. When you go to the hospital, you if there's any type of indication that whatever, like you've been hurt, harmed by someone else, I don't care if you say, oh, I fell and broke my leg, or they say, oh, the baby fell and broke their leg. Well, they're 7 months old. Well, but they fell out of the crib. But this is a twist break though, because we looked at it and that means somebody was twisting. See, if they fell out of a crib, it would just be a clean break. So I don't know who you think you talking to, but we call them the PO and social services. So you see what I'm saying? This is a point. Several of these women brought up, why isn't there this? Why isn't there that? Why didn't she go to police? Why didn't there a police report? The hospital did it, just like they did with Meg. Meg at first said, oh, I think it was glass, because she didn't want the cops to shoot all of them,
Right.
right? And she protected this dumb motherfucker. Okay, got it. All right. But then all of a sudden she's being called a liar. Well, damn, you can't win, and you can't win no matter what the fuck you do. But when she went in the hospital, the doctors called the police and said these are bullet fragments. Meg did not call them and tell them that. She told them she thought she stepped on glass. So I'm telling you,
Right.
I don't know why these particular women or whatever Black women feel the need to do all of this instead of first ensuring this baby is good. Okay, I don't know why we as Black women feel the need to do that and press other Black women, including young Black women and Black girls. What I'm saying to you is that's a fucking problem that's a problem we have. All right. And it's feeding into that niggas get to treat us like this. Because they're not going to be the ones being questioned this and that and the next. Where your mama at? Well, I personally want to know people whole thing, but we ain't doing none of that about whoever the fuck that was that thought he had some sort of whatever. He couldn't control his own fucking emotions, so he hit this young lady with a brick. We're doing none of that shit. On the side of people who are saying, look, we don't know if we can believe everything because we really feel like this girl should have been doing this and this and that. Why isn't there a police report? Why is there? Well, if you know so much, then you would know when the person goes into the hospital, they report to the police. That's what the hospital reports to the police. And she was let out of the hospital. So it just pisses me off that in order to fight this other battle of the groups of Black women who feel like, okay, well, still we got to protect Black men because that's what's in the back of this. Okay, so we need to make sure, because she can't make us look bad or something, because that's what the problem is. No, the problem is the motherfucker and all of those motherfuckers. That's the problem. I have no understanding whatsoever. I don't care how anybody explains it to me, why we are doing a deep dive into what she could have done more or less or whatever the fuck. I don't care if she cursed him out. I don't give a fuck. I feel like we should just all find a black man right now and curse them all out. Okay? So, but I don't get to make those types of decisions. I don't get to get on here and decide that I'm going to tell people that we should eliminate black men. You ain't never heard me say that shit. Well, in your personal life. But you ain't well, in my personal life. Let me put it that way. But we ain't going to never. Allegedly. Okay? You do not hear any of us on Noir Aunties saying we should just get rid of, just mass murder, genocide these people. We have not said that. And if anybody could say it, it's fucking black women, because we've been done. And we have still loved the people who have done this shit to us. And it pisses me off that these ungrateful motherfuckers that need us to live, that we have done so much to stop enslavement, you motherfuckers would still be enslaved, okay? You're still, because you still stupid. You're reading Ida B. Wells right now. We stopped lynchings because where was niggas? Oh, I remember they was opening the door. They was opening the door and letting white people in to take us. That's what they was doing. So to me, the thing that really bothers me, if we're talking about black women, isn't the black women that's getting hit and beat up and being treated as if they're less than human or some shit. It is us who are black women who support these motherfuckers in any way, shape, or form. I have a son. My son's a good man. I ain't mad at my son. But let me tell you guys something. He was out at a store. He was working at a store and in a mall. And he knew this young black lady a couple of doors down wherever she worked at. They cross-pollinate, see each other at their opposite stores or something like that. Hey, okay. And one day she came into his store and this black man was following her. So she looked at my son who was behind the register and she was like, and so he goes, "Are you okay?" And she's like, "Okay." Now I know the common Negro peon would have been like, "And okay, I'm not getting involved in nothing." I love it when I hear that shit. Yeah, motherfucker. Yeah, don't we know it? You don't need to be responsible, accountable for shit in your own life, so we know you don't give a fuck about nobody else. Okay. But my son gets somebody else to come to the register. He clocks this motherfucker, and once she paid for her stuff, she went out, and this motherfucker was following her. So my son went out, and I guess in the time, same shit. He was asking for her number and harassing her. So my son said, "Is there a problem?" He stepped if just a foot in front of her. "Is there a problem?" And she's like, "Well, he just asked for my phone number." He goes, "Do you know him?" And so she said, "No, I don't know him." "Okay, so sir, you need to go get in your car." And he walked him to his car. Then he came back and he checked on the young lady. "Are you okay? Do you want me to call? Is there anybody I could call for you or whatever?" See, we have the opportunity, those of us who have younger boys that we're raising. It's not true. Oh, you can't raise a boy to be a man. Well, apparently nobody can. Y'all are all stupid. Okay.
Well, you know,
So I'm
Miss
saying
Love.
if we start, this is another thing. This is long sighted though, right? Because we're going to talk about what we've talked about, what we can do in the moment, more in the moment. But if we're raising our sons, my son was raised in a matriarchy. Okay. That means, how can I put this lightly? That means the men in my life need to do what the fuck I say. Okay. I'm running this. I'm the brains of the operation. Y'all the soldiers, and that's what we're gonna do. And coming behind me is my precious daughter. I am training her to be able to fully be in all her powers. She's already been trained up to now to recognize her powers and to work through her powers. Okay, but the next person that they need to follow, bend the knee, her. I mean, after me, should I pass? But we practice bending the knee to her already. Okay. Now she has responsibilities just like I do. I need to make sure my family has wellness, that everything fiscally is, going the way. Okay, wait, my husband do put the money in the bank, but that's neither here nor there. Anyway, I say where that money's going. This shit is an operation. Okay, I'm CEO, and everybody else falls in line, and ain't nobody mad. And my husband's a white man. Okay, they just love somebody with power. That's all. Woo! I get to take a break. Now, I'm not saying that's what everybody needs to do. I am not. However, I hold mine accountable. The reason my 32-year-old son does not have children is because A, he don't want them, but B, he knows that I've been saying all of his life, sex leads to children. Here's what you need. I got the condoms. I took him to the doctor. I made sure he understood how to take care of his body, those types of things, as he got older with medical people. Okay. And I told him the truth. You make a baby that woman's going to create over 10 lunar months, and you are fully responsible for that baby. You understand me? That's what's going to happen. And I would allegedly not want my son to come up missing because he didn't follow that. Well, he's decided, okay, that's way too much, because she wanted me to be a whole full parent like she was. I'm going to just not have kids right now or ever or whatever. Good for you, bruh. Good for you. That's the shit we ought to be applauding. Good for you. So we who are asking these questions, I'm going to posit this, that when we're asking these questions, I don't think we're looking at that we're trying to use the same rules and regulations that have been used against us for 4,000 years. The rules of a patriarchy that say whatever happened to a woman or a girl, it's her fault. It's her fault. She should have done better. Shouldn't have been there. Shouldn't have been wearing that. Should have been wearing more of that. I don't care if you from head to toe in a burqa, honey. They do the same horrifying shit. So that was my sticky point about why these people keep asking about where's the police report and all this stuff. If you're having a platform or whatever, then you don't realize that a hospital is going to report that to the police. Duh. Why you asking her to be what? Why do she need to talk to anybody when she got her jaw cracked? What kind of sense does that make? Leave this girl alone. Can she fucking heal?
Can I ask a question? Can I ask a question?
Yes, ma'am.
Once she put it out in social media, because she made the video, at what point is it she made the video, you never get to ask what happened? She made the video, you're skeptical and you want some proof. And from that, I'm going to tell you what my issue is. I don't like if you don't agree with me immediately, you don't care about Black women. If you don't agree with me immediately, you're the op. If you don't agree with me immediately, you are a Black male worshiper. And it's like, no, you don't know where people are processing this from. And everybody has in my opinion, it's specifically Black women, have a very interesting essay and IPV experience. So I don't think it's anything wrong with asking questions. I don't think by asking questions you're reducing what happened to her. It's just clarification. Like, what happened? And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. If she calls the police file, or did whatever, because here's the other thing, Miss Love. I understand that you are RN and worked in NICU and have a lot of qualifications. And I also know that you, in particular, would do the right thing. I cannot say that for people in the state of Texas because they're, again, not making it right, just saying like, this is not shocking that there's no additional information. Like, I mean, come on, did y'all see Uvalde where it was babies getting shot? People lied. I hate to say it, but again, I think a lot of things are regional. And I think what's going on with her, it sounds like she's from New York or been in New York and she came to the South. And coming to the South is very different. Like I said yesterday, a same gender loving man told me if this would have happened in New York and people would have saw it, they would have kicked that nigga's ass. And I was like, oh, wow, word. And then someone else from Bed-Stuy said, yeah, he wouldn't have made it. That's not the reality here. I hate that it is, but that's
It's not
not.
the reality there either.
Well, they said that they take care of business, and
They would personally, yeah, maybe, but that's not. Oh, New York's got one of the highest against anti-black women and hating black women crimes in the United States. So that is not.
Well, I'm just telling you what they told me because a lot of people are, I think, trying to process different people's personalities, and you know me, I'm normally like team sensitive. I'm gonna just keep it, as they say, what the kids say, keep it a buck. My tolerance for a 29-year-old woman that you went to a club and you do seem to be a bit mouthy, okay, you shouldn't have got hit. But who I'm thinking about is the 14-year-old that literally was assaulted. She was kidnapped. She was drugged. She was violated. She was 14. And she was sent by her mother. And again, I'm not going to say it's not the mom. Like, people are trying to make it be the mom. She dated that man for 3 years before he ever did this. So,
Are you talking about Brother Polite or whatever the hell
yes.
his name is? Okay.
Michael something, because he's anything but polite. I'm I am looking at us as a collective, as a whole. And as a collective, we just do not believe Black women. We don't. Black women get treated like white women that talked about Emmett Till. And it's not truthful, it's not right. Half the time we don't report. I'd say probably 85% women don't say. Black women, let me say this, they don't report, they don't do anything, they just take an L. And I'm like, look, I get it, we have our own history with the police and them being slave captures and not necessarily, for Black people. But what I know for certain is Black women don't intimidate white men. And so their level of protection or where they'll go with this is very different. I don't think in all of my 44 years, um, a Caucasian man has seen a crime and said, well, what were they wearing? Now, not with Black women. They'll do it with white women, but with Black women, it's different. I don't. This story is so layered that I just want us all to be on the same page. Everybody should be processing this from the same information. Now, how you process it and how you want to hold other people accountable, that's different. But again, I'm not evil because I'm not saying, yeah, girl, I got your back. I don't know you. I do not know you. I don't know you. I'm gonna need to understand what is going on. I also don't understand, and this is just me. Like, everybody pulls out their phones for everything. And if nothing else, Black women need to realize, do you see the difference from how they jumped in the water to help the older guy in, was that Alabama where the brawl was, in the white chair, versus a Black woman? We don't get treated the same. So at what point do you stop repeating the same behavior? Because isn't that insanity, doing the same thing, expecting different results? Again, if we can go back to 1892 and Ida B. Wells and her paper and people coming in and forcing three guys to be killed and her losing her stuff, like, nothing's changed. So we've got to change the approach. I don't want my niece at 44 to be talking about this kind of stupid ass shit. I just don't. And part of it is going to be, we need to figure out how we have better relations with law enforcement, because this snitches get stitches code, it don't work for us. It don't work. Who is this man? Like, nobody knows who this guy is. Nobody. Come on, turn this nigga in. What are we supposed to do? He hit somebody with a brick. Next, he'll shoot somebody. And are we going to excuse that as well too? I do not want you to believe that I am excusing any type of violation. I want to know, who is he? Who saw him? Pull up the tape. If y'all can run tape, pull up the tape and show this nigga. Unveil him. Why do we not know? I know a lot about her being at Hilton and her doing this, and I know all kinds of stuff about this young lady that I don't need to know. What I can't tell you is what this nigga looked like. I'm gonna have a problem with that. Like, nobody said anything. Really? This is what we doing? This what we doing in 2023? Then don't ask me to march for you. Don't ask for my money. Don't ask me as a Black woman to do a motherfucking thing. Because them niggas should have called the police.
Now we're in agreement. Okay. Hi, Georgia. Thank you for coming. Now we're moving more into agreement because, like I said, I just I'm not interested in what she did or didn't do. I'm interested right now in her getting healing, whatever that is, right? And I don't know if this young lady ended up back in the hospital, if she had to have surgery, you know, or what happened, you know, due to the injury. And I've seen people react all kinds of ways to trauma. I mean, physical trauma that just recently happened to them or something, right? So it it one of the huge things, as I said, that has bothered me is that we have some Black women who are asking all of these questions before they're willing to whatever it is they're willing to do. And why not this? And why not that? What about this? What about that? How come she didn't do it like this? And how come she didn't do it like that? And
So, so
and
let me
I've
clarify.
I've
Are
I've
are
said
you
it
saying?
all along. I've said it all along. I don't care. I don't care why she was where she was, who she was with, what she did last night, how she twerked. I don't give a fuck. I don't care. My problem is strictly with niggas. I don't care because this baby got hit in the face with a brick, and I have heard other Black women, and this is one of the reasons that this really bothers me is that I'm having to um, ask a question of myself that you've asked of me before, but for a different reason. Should we be holding all Black women sacred, protected, and uplifted? And I'm coming to the conclusion very quickly here in the last year or so is that if a Black woman decides that she doesn't want to be held sacred, accountable, sacred, protected, and uplifted by other Black women, she gets to decide that. If she decides that she is in support of patriarchal rules and that feminine should be this and masculine should be that, she gets to decide that. If a Black woman decides, well, I'm not going to just, based on, maybe it's based on the religion they're in, the monotheistic religion that they're in, if they are, because as we know, 85% of Black women throughout the US and the Caribbean too uh, associate with, in particular, more Protestant leaning Christianity. So um, you get to do all of that as a Black woman. I feel where God is born, but I also feel that other Black women have the right to say, no, I'm once born. And I'm interested in working to um, continue to protect Black men. Our Black men are going through so much, and they have gone through a lot. They're not being treated fairly, and I'm, based on my religious beliefs or whatever, I am a helpmate, and they are the leader, and I'm a female. He's a male. He's supposed to be in the lead, and Black women get to decide all of that because you have free will and you have a choice as Black women, right? What I'm having to distinguish is, so then you don't want other Black women to hold you sacred and protected because you're not willing to do that for other Black women. You're too busy holding Black men sacred, protected, and uplifted. And it's not just always what we say, it's also in our behaviors. Okay. Now, do I know that Black women are shifting as a whole and starting to come to the same conclusions I came to? Well, okay, albeit mine has been decades, but Um, are we coming to a similar conclusion that no, they haven't done anything to show that they are leaders, can be. They can't even manage their own emotions and their own choice and behaviors as grown men. But the expectation that a black woman or a black girl should be able to manage them and their movements and their feelings and their emotions, and that we're also supposed to be able to de-escalate a situation that they fucking escalate. No, maybe you don't want to be held sacred, protected, and uplifted if that's your choice as a black woman. And I can't make that be a thing for you, right? Because I don't have the energy to keep doing, trying to hold people sacred, protected, and uplifted who want to be with my enemy, who want to protect my enemy, who want to protect the black men and whoever else that let something happen to them and oh here we all go. No, I'm starting to make this shift in my own evolution. You know, this is just one incident, but I've watched incident after incident. I just watched with that I did a little thing on it. This girl, um Erica Minta, whatever that bitch's name is, Love and Hip, I don't know. And and she uh-huh. Again, another person didn't like what a black woman literally just said to her. Okay? Nobody threw nothing at her, ain't nobody swinging, none of that. And she, because she didn't like what she heard from a black woman, went to violence. She turned the table on a black woman who just had surgery and looks like she's going to need some more. Now, I don't care what she called your mama, okay? I really don't. But if you think the response you needed to have was to flip a table on her, to go violent, because you didn't like what a black woman said out of her mouth to you, that's a reason for people to be violent with us. And it's been a reason in other people's mind that they get to be violent with us. Then you're going to walk out the door with your bitch ass, turn around and call one of the most beautiful, hardworking women in these fucking Americas and the Caribbean and worldwide, who's feeding your bitch ass a blue monkey? Oh, really, ma'am? Really? And we had black women doing the exact same shit that they doing with this girl. Exact same shit. Coming to the rescue of Erica Minta. Oh, maybe she didn't mean it. This bitch has been a full-on nasty ass racist bitch. Okay? Period, plain and simple. And if Spice had hit that girl in the throat in response, oh, we'd have been all over Spice. Some of us as black women. Oh, we can't act like that. They'll think we're savages. Oh, you should have just de-escalated the situation and just walked away. Because now everybody will think that this is how black women behave. Yeah, bitch, this is how I behave when you come and do violence with me. Bitch, yeah, we getting down. That's what we gonna do. Cause you brought it. You brought it. Now, I personally am kind of happy you brought it because I been wanting to go the fuck off. But thank you for opening the door. But what you don't get to do for me as black women is sit here and say that she had a reason for doing that. Well, she talked about her son. Girl, I don't give a fuck if she talked about Jesus' underwear. Okay? So you telling me something that came out of somebody's mouth who doesn't dominate the world and have world power like white people or white adjacent people that can get you killed, the shit that come out of their mouth. Okay? But some came out of the mouth of a black woman that you didn't like. And that's your go-to. And the person number one in support of her until her money was starting to look funny was Mona Scott, the person who created and produced this show, who has the complexion of Beautiful Spice. First of all, how you gonna tell somebody? How you gonna call somebody an animal, Erica Minta? Can you even see your reflection when you walk by?
Did you say Minta?
I mean, really, bitch? Can you see your reflection? Because most vampires, what you doing out in the sun, bitch? Because most vampires shouldn't even be in the sun. It's not good look. You don't get to keep coming at black women simply because you don't like something we say to you when you've been doing the whole most.
But isn't she a part of the problem, though, in the sense of, I think a lot of women, they believe that either they're a unicorn or they're dealing with a unicorn. I am team when people show you who they are, believe them. Safari has had a long dating history, and he seems to be the type that he likes the process of falling in love. But once he gets to that destination and you're conquered, you're no longer interesting, and he's got to go get that chase somewhere else. I don't understand again. So even with Erica Mena, and I guess this is where I am with, and we talk often. I can deal with the person that's the first baby mama, maybe the second. But once we start getting into 3 baby mamas and this man is not widowed or he has not ever attached himself to a household to be a father to any of his children, when you number 5 and 6, I'm just going to look at you because the proof of who he was in front of you. And I think a lot of women like to believe that I am different. I am special. He treated her like that. You and I have talked about people and their behavior, and it's like, oh, you didn't think you were going to experience that? Oh,
No,
really?
you're not exempt. No one's exempt from anyone's behavior. Hey, Jazzy, welcome.
So that's the other thing. If no one is exempt, where I am is I need for Black women to be safe. I need for Black women to not be in particular situations that can cause them harm. What happens in your house is a completely different thing, which is super, super, super sad because we know a lot of the DV or IPV is, from a person that we know. I guess I'm just having a very hard time wrapping my head around this in the sense of like, everybody pulls out cameras, right? Everybody is world starring it. Everybody wants to, somehow, like the girl that she literally narrated the Alabama thing where people were just kind of listening to her. I'm like, why? Where are the other tapes? But then the other thing, I'm like, okay, and I do not want to get into diaspora wars or diaspora, however you pronounce it. A piece of me is like, okay, was this like a Somalian club or a place where, um, people of the same tribe or country go and hang out? And is this a place where the men they don't snitch, they don't tell, they don't say anything? Because this is about the weirdest thing I've ever seen in my life, in the sense of one video, nobody else populating anything, nobody else talking about it. I will say the audacity of the nignog that came on and told all these bold ass face lies. Wasn't even in Texas. He's from Tennessee. I have a problem with the fact that people believed him immediately, and had it not been for his child's mother, he would have been able to play into that stereotype and probably monetize some ways. So I am very much bothered by the way that this story has been presented. Does that make sense?
It makes sense. I think that um I think that the information over these last few days has made a difference for you, you know? So maybe you did need that knowledge, um, kind of what's happened so far, something like that. Um, because that's not the way you came at it initially. And so now I think the information makes is making it be, you know, is making you come to a conclusion. And sometimes, you're right. We need different information. Um, we don't all process information the same way. So, um, I, um, I just watched a lot of Black women as usual, including Black women who are related to me. Okay. I watched a lot of Black women per usual, um, asking the victim questions. Um,
Can I ask, do
and
you, but Miss Love, is it, are we, she's the only person we know who to ask. We don't know who this the guy is. Like, my whole
no,
thing is like, find
we
him.
don't know
Where
her
is he
either.
at?
We don't know her either. But anyway, yeah, I get what you're saying. And the fact is, I feel like one of our problems and one of the reasons that we are being targeted and violated, and and people try to humble harm and
Humiliate.
humiliate us,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, is because they know that they can, and they're very aware too that Black men have never given a fuck. They've never cared. Okay. As a
Do you think
collective.
all Black men are some? Oh, okay, as collective. Okay.
As a collective. And my job, or the job of women and girls, to figure out which one is good and which one isn't. And
Mm-hmm.
that's what I feel like we're being asked to do, whether it's the spur of a moment or whatever, because that's just how we're being programmed. That it helps us to be prey
Mm-hmm.
when we um when some of us as Black women can really follow the programming that we most of us have had, um and pose all of these questions to the person who is the victim, but she was brutalized. She is literally in physical pain. She is literally her side of her face. When I saw her the next time, I guess at her home or wherever she was, her eye was closing even more. So I don't know who's getting up and answering, um, what Yanni thinks she needs to know, or TKO or whatever her name is thinks she needs to know, or whoever else thinks that they ought to.
I think your internet, y'all bear with us. I think she is either her or me. Um, I'm interested. Those of you that are in here, um, what are y'all's thoughts? Or um, what do you feel would be the appropriate response for Black women? Um, I'm going to pull up because she normally reads the comments. So let me see if I can get in here with y'all. Okay.
Oops, I'm
You're back.
sorry. I lost
That's okay.
everybody.
You're back. You're back.
I
Look, God,
apologize, everybody. I really do.
you're back.
Um, yeah,
It's freezing. Is it raining where you are? Because we just had
the
like a storm come through. I know there's some type of
problem that
hurricane.
we're having is facing getting ready to. Um, yeah, that could be what's going on. I think we need to face that. Um, I'm glad we're talking about it because we don't allow people here to call each other names. Like we're not going to do that
Right.
here, right? So we're going to describe behaviors, but all of this name call is not necessary. You got a name, that's what we call you, or whatever, right? But hurling those types of insults at each other does nothing, right, for what we're trying to accomplish moving forward and trying to hold Black women, Black girls, and Black children too. And that's something that happens with us as Black women. We're gonna take care of the kids. See, okay,
I
so
mean, that's a interesting. I feel like that's
each other have
you're still coming in and out. I don't know why. Right now you're froze, but you said something about children, and I'm gonna say like I know that we can chew gum and walk and address all kind of situations.
my
I see your hand went up.
okay.
You're saying
Can you hear me?
I can now. Yes. What I was saying is you started talking about kids, and I'm not trying to say one is worse than the other. What I can say is I'm not surprised by people questioning an adult woman. I'm very, very surprised at how some people have responded to Mr. Not Polite, Mr. Mike. I think his name is Michael something. I can't think of his last name, but it's I. I think I sent you the tape where Sonetta and his wife were playing her the victim impact statement, the mom statement, and this very
Yeah,
grown man.
I haven't watched it. It's
It's
very
so much going on, but
overwhelming.
yes, and that might be the thing too. Is like um I feel more connected to the 14-year-old story because my niece is 14. Um I may be not giving enough grace to this young lady because there was just certain rules of engagement that we had when we were going out. Um, so it just to me is a bit bizarre, but again, times have changed. Like I would have never went to a club by myself ever. And that's not necessarily right. I mean, a grown adult woman should be able to go step out, have a good time, and make it home safely. You should be able to do that. I have never, ever, ever thought that that was the rule of thumb, especially amongst nightclub or out being out around other people. Now, like going to the movies by yourself or going to have a little bit of lunch or dinner, like yeah. But that's my other thing. Was like, okay, well, was she by herself? You know, where were her people at? I just have a lot of questions because even in the sense of you and I are friends, but we have a parasocial connection. I guarantee you, if you don't hear from me in a couple of days, you gonna come looking and you gonna go probably to that man that live here first because he would be the person that I mean, let's be real. That would be the person that typically would be the person that would harm me, the person in the home, right? Um, I just want to see more people that were there be like, this was absolutely no. He picked up the brick and he's this and that. Like, who is this guy? Um, give the description. He needs to be held accountable.
Miss
Like
Tiff.
that. Mm-hmm. Yes, ma'am.
We reason and
Are we
unfreeze.
both freezing? Can you hear me now?
You're coming in and out.
Okay. Let me refresh.
Okay, now you're better. Now it's better. Or it was. Wait, what happened? Okay, it was better. Um, okay, I'm waiting for Miss Tiff to come back. We've been having internet stuff. We apologize. That wait. I think I might can get her back. I believe she was talking about Brother Polite and how she felt more connected to the baby that he just savage.
Okay.
Okay, I see
Yeah,
you.
and I heard you giving the recap of I want us to understand, and I wish Miss D was here because she would say there are 18 million black women. We all are not going to have the same beliefs, the same behaviors, the same connections to different things. I think that I can hold space for you and your anger and your frustration in um, black women being questioned regardless of what happens. But also I feel like you can hold space for me and saying like, yes, this is awful, but what we finna do with this 14-year-old? Because this nigga got 7 years probation. This man went to a club and said the charges were dropped. This man violently, violently harmed this child. How do you have bruises in your mouth? How are you bruised? What the hell? So, what I will say is here is the connection. If you get fucked off at 14, typically at 29, which is that young lady's age, you're double victimized. Most people that are molested will also have a sexual assault because you cannot distinguish good and bad, normatives. You're a nurse, Nick, you're Nick, you nurse at that. So you understand just the sense of saying someone being pregnant in a trauma-filled environment.
Being pregnant in a trauma-filled.
I am a trauma-informed
You know what?
facilitator. Go ahead. No, I'm just saying I'm trauma informed, and I understand that everybody displays trauma in very different ways. You have some people that just dismiss it, act like it never happened, keep going. You might have somebody that they can't move past the trauma, they are stuck. You may have people that kind of bounce in and out, kind of like grief. So there's so many different
And you see,
ways
you do hear.
What you say, Miss Love?
You do hear what you just said, right?
What do you mean?
You do hear what you just said. You said, just for clarification, that
You're breaking up. There's.
can you see me?
Okay, I
Can you
can
hear
now.
me?
Yes. Okay, go one more time. You said, did I hear
Okay.
what I said?
Yeah, that different people have different responses to the trauma.
Mm-hmm.
Earlier in this conversation, I said that to you, right? Because you were saying, you know, you know, get yourself out of that situation.
I don't expect a 14-year-old and a 29-year-old woman
That this group of black men, you should have just. But what I'm saying to you is a trauma victim is a trauma victim, and whether you're 14, 62, you're a trauma victim, and how you respond is different than other people. And that we can apply that to a 14-year-old, but we 9-year-old or a 35-year-old or a 40-something-year-old or 50, 60, 70-year-old.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on. She's having a back and forth. So we'll try one more time. While we are here, what I want to express is that I hope that everybody is taking care of themselves, physically, spiritually, emotionally. It's been a week for Black women, which it always is something going on. I think this week in particular was hard to process. I think that we all have a right to believe how we believe. Um, I'm not one that's like echo chamberish. I yeah, I guess did she sign out and come back in? Well, we're gonna see. Like, well, there she goes. Right. There
I don't
you
know
go.
why it's kicking me out.
No, that's okay. I was just saying that it's been a week, and I hope that everybody is doing some type of self-care. I said I hope that everybody is taking care of themselves. I think this week, regardless of where you landed personally, there was an offense from seeing the 14-year-old baby and this man getting 7 years of probation and 25K restitution, and he doesn't have to register as a sex offender. I can't push past that. So what I do like,
well, I'm gonna say,
I can acknowledge is that people like yourself, Miss D, there are enough women that are passionate about making sure that that young lady gets justice, and some of us will work with the 14-year-old case. I will say right now where I am with Black women in general is if you will not read the bill HR 6268, I will not have conversations with you. If you are unwilling to go and see that there are solutions there, if you are unwilling to go through agape intelligence or some type of self-help, self-development, as a very grown woman who has a passion for Black women and Black girls, I don't have the time, I don't have the energy, and I will not take away from innocent victims for people who don't have time to do very basic things. And that might sound rude or mean. It is what it is. At this point, the bill is to protect Black girls and Black women. And we saw a 14-year-old Black girl be a victim, and we saw a 29-year-old Black woman be a victim. So instead of us arguing who got hit, how they got hit, what happened
And then
before, what
Sky,
happened after,
because
can we not
it's really,
just pass the bill? Because if HR 6268 was passed, guess who both would have fallen into a protected class? Both the 14-year-old and the 29-year-old. And I'm saying 14, but she's 16 now. Nevertheless, there are solutions that people are unwilling to do. If you are unwilling to go and order a book about Ida B. Wells, I don't have time for you. If you don't have enough free time to go and get what is this, the dark end of the street, and please don't tell me you don't have the revenue to do it, because the public libraries are very much available to the point to where you can download a book online from the library. So where I am with this and with other Black women is I'm
I hope
done
you guys can see
spending.
me. Wait, I see Miss
Yeah,
Tiff down there.
yeah.
She was talking about the bill that provides that Black women and Black girls are a protected class, and that, you know, the feeling is we really want Black women to really support this. I think one of the things that we're missing is kind of one of the underlying issues that we're having, that we're bringing out today. And that is one of the many reasons that this bill hasn't gone through. And I don't have data on this, but one of the reasons in my understanding, is that we as Black women are trying to decide which kind of Black woman fits into this bill, or we don't want it. When that makes no sense to me. So we're again working from patriarchal rules, and in patriarchal rules there's a hierarchy, and there's this system in which it appears that we have very limited resources, so we're all fighting over resources, and depending on who you are, what you look like, what your education is, what your education is not, what your experience is, it's not, all of these different things, what your skin color is or is not, or whatever, then you just automatically deserve whatever. And what has happened is Black women around the world are the least deserving of humanity. So the fact that you have to even come up with a bill like this, and Miss Tiffany, but it's a problem that we as Black women feel the need to do what we did with this young 29-year-old to others of us, to say that, oh, but we don't want Black trans women and blah, blah, blah. Oh, but we don't want biracial Black girls and Black women covered under this. Oh, that who are mixed Black and something else. You see what I'm saying? Like, what's it going to be next? I need to be a Christian because that ain't happening. That's not happening. So if we don't stop using the weapons of patriarchy and whiteness, we can't get this bill passed because we're effectively saying that one group of us is better than the other when we all need protection. And I think, this topic about Black trans women and Black trans girls deserves its own show. So I don't want to get that deep into it, but we all know my position is that I adopt a lot of different children, okay, over my years, and they're my babies. And while I've had two children out of my own body, I have a multitude of young women ethnicities that I am mama love to or ma to, okay? And I have young trans women, young, just LGBTQ women, and young men who are LGBTQ, who fall into the LGBTQ community. So though I am focused and I am centering Black women and Black girls, I don't really talk about why I feel like that's important in it. And I know because of the way I come across, aim my rage at, people just think whatever they think. But I know that there are two groups of people that we really need to save the planet as it is right now. And one of them is Black women, and the other one is Indigenous women. Black women tend to heal people, and Indigenous women tend to heal our connections with the elements, outside of the fact that Black women are elemental, as I feel Indigenous women are too. So if it's typical for a Black woman to be compassionate and kind, even to the people who hate and work to destroy her, right? That's been our behavior. That's actually been our behavior. It's not like I'm making something up here. Okay. We will actually be kind. We have been kind, in our way to our own enslavers. Now we did put a stop to y'all bullshit, but I've watched Black women over thousands of years, actually millions, in my reading. So you can't, it's difficult to get the HR bill that Ms. Tiff is referring to done if you're going to continue to use the very behaviors, weapons, rules of destruction that have been used against you. Okay. So that's just something individual Black women are going to have to come to. But, trans Black women, I know I'm gonna have a whole nother fit because it pisses me off that we're telling other Black women we need to see your Black woman card. I don't even know what we're talking about. What are you talking about? Okay, they're Black women. Let it go. You don't need to be. Why does it matter what's between somebody's legs or who the hell they screwing? That we don't need that. We need some solidarity. So I agree. I totally agree with Miss Tiff on that. And I agree too that maybe people do need to know more. I personally don't need to know more about black women because I have watched this over and over and over and we can be going to the gas station. We could be going in the store and a black man will get belligerent and violent with us and it can be the middle of the day. And
And
it's going to come back
Miss
to
Love, but Miss Love, I think, and maybe that's the thing. It's like we've all had those moments. My thing is like, should you have to have a fake Google number? No, you shouldn't. But these men are shooting people in the head for getting rejection. Like, we cannot act like you are dealing with. You are the first person to tell me to read what
well,
48 laws
but
of power.
what
Hold on,
the
whoa, whoa, whoa.
answer?
1 second. 1 second. We literally, and this is the thing. It's like because black women let everyone come into the collective, you have a lot of different belief systems. Um, White men can get along because it's not a lot of difference, I guess. Like they're male, they're white, they have a penis, so they get it. Black men,
That's not why they get along. White people in general don't get along because of there's not a lot of difference. There is a lot of difference between them actually. They don't get along at all if you want to know the truth. With the
well, I mean, if you're
exception
talking about
of
classism,
being violent,
classism,
stealing, and lying.
but,
That
but
is what they have
classism.
in common.
But
So here's what I'm gonna say. You know me.
so here's
I do not touch the trans topic. I do not. It is it's too nuanced. Um, I have particular family members, so just for me, there's certain conversations that I personally will not have with people that don't have exposure. It is not me not being willing to be in partnership with trans people. It's more I'm not dealing with the straights like that. I'm just not. It's already too much. I don't know. Like we can't even decide abuse. We're not going to start bringing in who's this, who's that, what title did. I don't have time for that. I don't have time for that because again, every 4 hours somebody that looks like us is getting taken out. So at some point we've got to get together, develop some system. Again, we have YouTube, Zoom, Rumble, all kinds of stuff. You can look at Miss Love's page for weaponry. She put a beautiful page on her post or her wall where you see all of these black women holding their pieces, looking stunning and powerful. Me personally, I am more along the lines of if this particular story touched you in a particular way, are you healing from something? Is it something you need to heal from? Why are you coming to the conclusions that you are? Is it personal life or is it just what you're seeing? So I think as Black women, we're kind of all over the place this weekend, and that's a lot of where we are. But I want us to all understand that each person may have a different passion and a different driver. I don't think one is better than the other. I think that uh, if you have a passion product, how you up here twice? Oh, there it is. It showed you 3 times. The other thing that I'll say is Miss Love, we're right at 2 hours. I
don't
would,
know.
yeah, no, I would, and
Okay.
Miss Love is very protective of this space. Um, I will say, if you really feel like you have something that needs to be said, go ahead and indicate that in the chat, and then we can go from there. But I am just saying there are enough Black women to handle the issues that we have. We can chew gum and walk. Um, we are very good at finding solutions. And I believe that this generation, the people that are alive now, are in a very different situation than our mothers and our grandmothers, in the sense that you can make a good salary, you don't have to have a man in your home, you don't have to take the disrespect, you do not have to be the giving tree. I hate that fucking book. I'm gonna be honest. When I read The Giving Tree, it gives Black woman and how we will give everything until you're a stump and you're dead. I hate that book, but it is indicative of the relationship of how Black women are treated in, I will say, in on this planet. I will not even say just in the country. I will say on this planet, we are asked to give limb, trees, if it's got suckle syrup, we are asked to do everything until there's nothing left of us but a stump that somebody can come back after and sit on the stump and think, oh wow, you did so much for me, tree. um I'm just not that, I'm not that type of person. I'm not giving you my energy if we're not having reciprocity in the relationship. I'm going to talk to you as much as you talk to me. I'm going to treat you how you talk to me. I am the definition of keep that same energy. And for some people it works, for some people it doesn't. And that's the other thing. Everybody doesn't have to be your cup of tea. You don't have to like everybody that you see. Um, we're all going to be very different. And I think the sooner we get to saying, yeah, girl, I don't think like you, or yeah, girl, I'm not processing like you, but we both want each other to be safe, then we can start there. The very, very basic core chakra, root chakra of being safe in your home and in your environment and in your body. Um, I'm looking at the chat. I don't see anything else outside of me. We will see if Miss Love comes back up. Is there anyone here that you feel like you want to come up?
We are gonna begin. We're I think we just covered a lot of things where we agree to disagree, because as we always say, we miss Miss D. She's not here today, but she'll be back. Um,
All right, y'all. She's froze again, so I'm gonna go off and allow her to do the closing. What I will ask is, please go look at HR 6268. Please find out who your local congressperson is, and then perhaps between myself, Miss D, and Miss Love, we can curate just a standardized email that you can send to your representative and ask them how they feel about it. What are their thoughts? Are they willing to stand on this or not? I do believe that this is the bill that Black women need to get behind, because it addresses so many different concerns. And I also believe that this will be one of the first times that we actually ask politicians to do something for us specifically. Um, Not hanging my hat on Kamala. She very much said that she would never pass anything just for Black women, which for me was a really good, oh, okay. We're also going to acknowledge that Joe Biden was one of the creators of the 1994 crime bill. That is not, it's not it's not, that bill caused a lot of different issues. So again, go to the HR 6268. It's called Protect the Black Women and Black Girls. Robin Kelly is the lady that is introducing it. If you go to her on, I believe it's gov.org. Let me just make sure I have it right. And we'll put the link in, but I would like to see us kind of come out of this trauma bond and begin to start doing things legislatively that will help us. We all just saw what happened with affirmative action. We saw what happened with Roe. Um, at this point, we need to start PACs, political activation groups or centers, um, to make sure that we get legislation that protects and holds us sacred, protected, and loved. So I am going to say thank you for joining. It looks like Miss Love is going to be able to hop back on. Please leave comments, questions, anything that you want to share or you want the aunties to address. We're always in the comments. We want this to
Thank
be
you.
interactive. And interactive, and we want to serve you guys. I think all of us are 40 plus, and we can see that sometimes the aunties and the elders did not necessarily give the most beneficial information, especially for young women in 2023. And I hope that with everyone in our ages and our differences, we can find a way to keep each other all protected, safe, sacred, and loved. So I'm going to say later, and I'm sure Miss Love may be able to pop back on. If she doesn't, like I said, please leave comments, questions, subjects, anything that you want in the comment section, because again, it's not just about us. It's about making sure that we give Black women the tools that they need to have the best possible life on this planet. I am not a person that wants to go to the pearly gates. I want my heaven here now and on this planet. And if we got to do what we need to do to take particular threats out so that we can have our heaven on earth, I think between myself, Miss D, and Miss Love, you got some riders. You have people that will ride for you. You have people that will advocate for you. You have people that will love you and stand in the gap. So let us love on you. Let us hold you. Let us keep you sacred and protected. Reach out and let's grow this thing. Let's make this work for ourselves, because at the end of the day, I hope if nothing else from this week, I hope we learn that we are all that we have. It is just us. And as a person that has had some petty moments within social media, I can apologize for any damage that I've caused. I can apologize for any harm that I've caused any other Black woman. I can sincerely say, please forgive me. I'm still learning. Yes, I'm an old dog, but I'm still learning new tricks. And I want us to learn how we can be in community and safe with each other. We don't always have to agree. We don't have to necessarily like, but we've got to get this work done together. That's not optional. So I'm not going to let my personality or differences get in the way of keeping other Black women safe, sacred, and protected. Close us out, Miss Love.
I agree. For that, it's tough for us as Black women and Black girls. We're trying so hard to, we're just trying so hard. So I'd like it if we can be compassionate and kind with ourselves. That we take these different energies that we use to navigate the world and things like that. And we pull it back in and we point it at ourselves and we just spend some time loving on ourselves. Like for me, it's every day. I make that a part of my day every day. I would at least I would at least suggest we start, you know, at least 2 to 3 days a week and then build up to every day of showing yourself compassion and kindness and love and care. And this is hard. This is really hard. These conversations are hard sometimes. But I do appreciate Auntie Tiff and Auntie D coming together, and I appreciate all of you. Um, and I just it is my goal to hold us sacred, protected, and uplifted. If it doesn't start with myself and other people, for us as Black women and Black girls as a whole, then we just won't ever get there. And that's not fair to the young women coming behind us. Um, I do feel I need to do better as an older Black woman um, with younger Black women and making sure that I'm doing what I can do to hold space and hold them sacred, protected, and uplifted while they get to heal and while they get to grow, as I myself continue to grow and evolve. So, again, I thank you all. Um, please, please enjoy the rest of your weekend. Have some laughs. This was quite a serious subject, and you deserve the best. You matter and you are important. Your life matters. Your life is important, and you have the right to be self autonomous. You have the right to walk through this world without being violated. And it is true, we're gonna need to start doing some further things to protect ourselves. But we can talk about that later, right? So thank y'all again. Love you.